Hello, welcome back everybody, and we're going to be going into our second map of the day. We just saw XL put up pretty dominant performance there on Ascent against Alliance, but it's time for Alliance to see if they can bring this one back. We're going to be heading to the Shinjuku district in Tokyo in Japan to go to Split and see what they can do, put up there. Because I'm interested now, because Alliance, they're more on, even though Ascent was their pick, I think Split might be where they can kind of pick up a few more rounds.
I'm a little bit unsure, right? We know in the past that this is a map that they've wanted to try and take us into so that they can run free pseudo-duelists with the chamber included. However, it is going to be a mirror matchup because this is a strategy that XL like to run as well. The only difference is XL are running with a full roster. Alliance are coming in with 2 subs. If you missed it at the beginning of this series, unfortunately 2 of their players are not currently able to compete, and so they've had to bring Soren and their coach Desmo into the mix to be able to participate.
There we go, we're going to see these coming out, and you can actually see a fade once again. This time it is on the side of Alliance, so that's a 4th fade we've seen so far here in Northern Europe, and it seems to be picking up quite a lot of popularity, but these are very different comps.
The Fade Summoning Circle, it has worked once more, and yes, it is going to be a Fade coming out for Alliance. It's not going to be something like Sova, which we haven't really seen in Split often, but Nova is it going to be either an Astra or a Viper. Instead, the controller that they're going to be fielding is going to be that Omen. Lovely to see that Breach is still going to be sticking around for the side of Alliance. We saw yesterday in this scrim of Breach versus Sky that Breach can have a lot of utility, very good at pushing in with very quick, rapid pushes. But for the side of XL, it is going to be a Chamber up against neither a Mirror Chamber or a Jet. And for XL coming out on the attack first, that's going to be a lot of outward aggression, not a lot of stopping power. You can push up forward, you can burn out those flashes from Alliance who are expecting something like a very aggressive rush push, and then you cut noise, pull back, and punish that early utility investment.
Yeah. Keep in mind, though, they do not really have an initiator. That Reyna is going to be playing almost the initiator role in that way there on the XL side. So I'm interested to see how that's going to work out for CHIWAWA, who was previously playing the Killjoy last map. We'll see exactly what's going to go on there. But XL, they're pulling all their focus towards mid, towards A little bit. Those were really anchor players. It seems like with the 2 players they got over there, they definitely want to head towards it. Foxy is just going to be absolutely inundated with utility inside of ropes here, down to 64 HP, but that's not death, so all is still good. 5 players still alive for them. Our Alliance going to head some people towards Mail here. No, they're just going to head up the charge over towards ramp, and they actually get the first 2 kills. That's massive for them because it gives them a lot of control. Soren picks up 1 more before Patatek can cut that one out, but there's only 2 players left on the XL side. And they're not some great players for pushing in, especially when that race has no utility to work left with.
I was actually going to be on top of that wall trying to see if there is a rotation from those players from Alliance, giving information to Patatek, who has picked up the race. This is something that we saw them play into against Human Tripwise on their last iteration of Split, and Lo knows, just looking for the picks, looking for those kills. It's very unlikely they're going to be able to win the round. They just want to try and deal a little bit of damage to that economy. It is not to be, it's not the flawless, but Alliance can still feel extremely happy with themselves about the fight that they're about to be able to come in on.
Yeah, it's a well played pistol round there for Alliance. It looked like they knew what they were doing. That push through on ramp was maybe a little hopeful, but they got the kills, and that was really what opened it up for them. XL on the back foot to start with, but, you know, considering the amount of rounds they put up last map before Alliance were even able to get more than 2 on the board, they should feel pretty confident still heading into this, but maybe that confidence is going to come back to bite them.
Alliance knowing that without an initiator, without something like a Breach or a Sky, there isn't a lot of punishment to stop them from going for those aggressive pushes into places like ramps, but now we're seeing XL being extremely cautious, clearing all of this space. Paint shells coming out, first from Patatek and then in return from Soren, now pushing up in with the Spectre. Gonna be able to pick out that counter.
Oh, the Headhunter is going to do a lot of work.
The Headhunter, 12 HP, starting to get a little bit of healing helped out by Mo. Once again, you've applied a little bit of pressure, you've forced Alliance to get this rotation, but now you're expecting it, and you're not going to find the same value from Tower. as Soren was earlier.
It's just Desmo left. XL have done so much work there with the Headhunter and the aggression that followed. There's perhaps noise and heads slowly to follow well, the absolutely massive amount of noise that XL are making heading towards A site. There is one lurking there. Foxy still on the B site, but the spike is not with him, so... Well, if Desmo can get this done quickly, which it looks like he means to, absolutely no qualms whatsoever with going for both of those kills immediately, does not know where that final player is. We can just get on that spike, and he could stick this, honestly. He could have got probably the full defuse there, and Foxy is just going to spray down the spike because he knows that. Took a little bit of damage, but oh, he's sitting just off to the side of the spike. He'll probably get half at the very least, but he's just sticking it. No, he's going to come off of it, and 5 HP left on Foxy, but Desmo has all of the power in his hands, having got half of that spike defuse. He's going to get back on it. Foxy now spraying in the wrong location again, but he does manage to find it just about. 5 HP remaining, and Foxy gives his team a little bit of breathing room, but that was a close one.
Yeah, sometimes you do feel just like God's staring down at the world when you can see that mini-map and where these players are. And yeah, that really did happen this round, didn't it? Because Desmo had no idea where Foxy was playing. You could have stuck the full defuse, but without that information, not knowing, especially with it being Foxy who's alive, and Foxy in the last map being that player that Alliance were never really able to keep a track of, started seeing cover from flanks really every single round after, had to just keep paying attention to all of their surroundings rather than feeling safe in that space. Means, with that sort of Pavlov condition built in, that Foxy is given the time to be able to clutch out a round.
Oh. Well, pathetic. Oh, has no problems with that. He's going to get killed there. Slider manages to finish that one off, but XL very much in control of that round. I don't think Alliance were pushing too much into that one, so no problems whatsoever. They're going to buy up into this next, but XL dealing well with the pressure either way.
Yeah, Alliance, it was just trying to find any sort of pick, any sort of economy damage that they can do. Because, I mean, it's split. It's defensively favored. The problem is, you don't have the economy to be able to buy into things like an operator, and so it's a lot easier for XL despite lacking that initiator. There isn't really a lot of outward threat, at least early on in these rounds, without that chamber, without that operator, that they have to worry about needing a flash to keep away for.
Comes Patatech all the way up ramp. This time Alliance have given up control of ramp. They got out of there very quickly. Just give them that little piece of the map and you can see the Boombot will come all the way in. Oh, that grenade's going to do so much damage. The slow field keeps him in the corner. Soren didn't know where to go whatsoever, but Cider is able to get the trade just about to keep back the XL forces that are heading towards B. Well, sorry, towards A. I just looked at the map and saw 2 players towards B, and that is really going to be... Oh, Desmo with a surprisingly aggressive move, knowing that there are players on A. Probably has to worry about sewers, but just gets all the way in there towards market. Malfoy able to find one more over on ramp, and that is the spike down. They will know now that they have control of the game overall, and with the amount of positioning they have all over different areas of the map, I feel like Alliance are in a very good place to close this one out.
Yeah, Malfoy with a really good fault line as well, making sure that CHIWAWA wasn't able to get quickly back into that to try and trade their fallen comrade out. Still sitting on an aftershock and flashpoints, you can't just sit in rafters and wait to see if it is going to be that push onto the A site from main. Spike is heading slowly towards B. You can see Foxy has been able to clear out Heaven, but once again, they don't have that mid control. They cannot count out the fact that Desmo's going to be moving up ramps into male. This is something that Foxy is going to be prepared for in just a moment if they start to try and cross that corner upstairs, but they're not giving it. No one's checking the angle. They give it away. Desmo's able to pick up one. Finally, Foxy is able to make up for the mistake, and now it's just Nile has to make everything work on their own with the Vandal. Going to be moving up into rafters, crosses alley. Going to be able to tap that spike, tries to draw it the position, thinks they're in garage, and Foxy's able to find a third.
Yeah, I mean, that was really just some mechanical play there. Foxy with a spray transfer. They were both paranoid up, but, I mean, holding back a second, not going for the immediate trade, knowing, you know, there could be more than one player up there in Heaven. They didn't get any information off of the kill because They were facing the wrong way, the player that got killed, so Foxy just waits, puts up the paranoia. Oh, beautiful flick on that spray transfer, and that is really the Phantom in a nutshell. You can go for that kind of play, and they just finishes it out on Nilla. No problem whatsoever once you've got the hard work done.
Oh, well, there's the paranoia. And it is just gonna be a little bit of quiet for XL as they're trying to figure out where Alliance are going to be held, clearing all of this B-side 2 marshals on this eco for the defensive side. B-side's empty, but it has been designed that way by the defense. But Foxy now, once again, able to just come in up into that high ground and peeks out. Desmo caught entirely unaware of the fact that the Omen is going to be that deep that quickly. And for Reliance, they've got 2 marshals, but are they going to be able to have the space to try and get in? Because look at XL, the spike is down. They know it's clear so much that they don't even have to have a player anchoring site. They just have to clear all of the approaches Alliance can possibly take to get close.
Yeah. And Alliance took a gamble. It did not work out for them whatsoever, and now they are stuck in their own spawn. Soren manages to get 1 kill in their favor, but they're not going to take the round whatsoever. Soren able to be snuffed out in the end. Only 1 casualty for XL in the eco round for Alliance, and again, this is just looking a little like last map, where XL don't look like they're pushing themselves whatsoever.
Yeah, and XL are going to be buying the operator as well. It's going to be funneled over to Alive on that chamber. This is the first time that we're really going to be able to see it on this map coming on through. You can probe forward, find information on where Alliance are playing, go for that first potential pick, then use the rendezvous to get out safely. And for Alliance, if they expend something like the Rolling Thunder or a Flashpoint and Fault Line to try and stop the chamber, you're going to lose all of that potential to be able to stop the rest of the team that follows him.
Some massive aggression from XL, pushing not only all the way into A main, but also getting right all the way around the back. But I think Alliance knew that that could be happening, and Soren will just make sure. You know what? They're not getting out of there, but the showstopper comes through from Pastek as well. Cider down. Desmo and Mo getting kills 1 by 1, and now it's a 2v3. XL need to close this one out. Alive there with the operator, able to make it a 2v2. But the last remaining players of Alive still full HP. They still need to do a lot of work, these XL players, and they went a bit over the top with that attack. Mo is just going to come through and trying to use that res as bait, but gets killed. It's Alive who manages to make it a 1v1. Zoran biding his time.
Alive isn't even going A. And Soren sees the rendezvous, notes
Oh,
the chamber could
man.
be going to the other side, caught completely unawares, as Alive just backtracks.
Ouch. Yeah. I mean, Soren felt the pressure of that situation, and I do feel like that is literally just not knowing what XL are going to bring out. This is just kind of not knowing exactly what's going to happen. You know, you second guess. He headed towards A very quickly there, really wanted to try and cut out any kind of rotation that happened, but Alive was ready for it, waiting to go towards B. Knew it seemed like that Soren was going to go straight back up into heaven, and was already pre-aiming there before he even turned around the corner. Desmo's going to take a little bit of damage right at the start of the round. Ready for that push. Luckily, no kill on the side of XL for Alliance.
Well, I mean, Alliance
XL just taking more space.
Yeah, Alliance running 2 judges. They're having to just give up space for XL, wait for them to get close. There's the judge attempt number 1, but CHIWAWA is actually going to be able to take the pick onto Malfoy, and then uses the corpse to heal, so all of that damage that the judge could potentially have chipped away to set Cider up for a pick has now been removed.
Oh, the tether. It's so nice. That keeps all of them right in there, and Soren is going to take one and get out of that.
Nightmare's over.
Oh, but Pathetek walks straight, well, Desmo walks straight into Pathetek. Neela is the one holding down ropes now, but again, Alliance are kind of spread across the map a little more than they'd want to. It is going to just have to be XL making a mistake, which they do. CHIWAWA runs straight into that judge, and Neela picks up on that very quickly. Now the spike is in control of Alliance, but it's still a 3v3. Soren doing very well. The Sackshot is going to push him around the corner, and he manages to find the head of Pathetek as well. Alliance take the round.
Yeah, XL getting a little bit too overconfident there, to be honest. Sending the spike out and alone into no man's land when you've seen one judge invent, you have to be expecting that there's gonna be a player hold up, just waiting. And the second that they lose control of it, and it's to the judge as well, you're just not gonna be able to get close, which is why XL do just go for the picks. They're trying to find any kill they can to just stop Alliance from being able to recover this economy and buy weapons that can challenge from a distance. However, Alliance with that win have been able to buy up into the operator. Beautiful fault line gonna make sure that Patatech can't find the momentum, can't go for a double satchel pack jump, has to cross into Nile from screens. He was able to pick up an op shot and then cross into backside.
Here's where the lack of an initiator really hampers your attack. It's just going into that corner completely dry. Absolutely gave them up for that one. Oh, that's a massive rolling thunder. It's going to catch every member of XL. The spray through the wall and through the box is going to pick up the head of Chihuahua. And now XL are kind of just stuck in a corner, rocking a hard place in the form of the Alliance side. All 5 players still remaining. And they're just playing it slow. Nobody going for a flank. Nobody doing anything whatsoever to be too over the top. They just want to sit there, wait, get these rounds in their hands easily without committing too much. They don't want to lose weaponry here. Oh my, Malfoy was very confident that nobody was going to push through the dark cover there.
Well, it's smart confidence, because XL are not. They're positioning themselves in ramps. It's going to be a pincer movement. Mo's going to jump out, try and challenge high grinders. You can see Foxy start to move forward. Knows there's a player in Rafters, is trying to just force Malfoy out of position to give that breach away so that the fault line cannot be there to stop the team to stun them up as they drop out of window. But Alliance not falling for it. 19 seconds left. XL have to start moving forward. Alive with the Tour de Force holds that cool, is able to find Soren. The dark cover comes out. Alive does not want to cross into it with the Tour de Force, but is still able to find Malfoy in the split second. But 5 seconds left. XL aren't on site. There's not enough time to get the spike down, Twiggy. And all Alliance have to do is keep themselves safe, keep themselves surviving, and they'll win the round.
Yeah, that's... I mean, XL, I can understand in a difficult situation there, and really didn't want to overcommit the weaponry they had into that one, but at the same time, if you're going to commit the Tour de Force, like Alive going around that corner looking for those kills, it seemed like they did want to make a last-ditch effort to go in towards site, but Mo was still over towards ropes. Mo wasn't moving at all. I feel that's a lack of communication there, because if Alive had died in that situation, that's a lot of impact on that round that you don't want to overcommit. I understand that they want to buy up into this round, and so saving 3 rifles does allow them to do that, but it did seem like an odd choice for Alive to go for those kills. I guess just confidence. Patatech on very low HP, 1 as he pushes through, and Desmo just sprays him down, but they do get that positional control.
Yeah, and now they've been able to not worry about the operator. About an initiator, it's definitely something that they do have to be extremely concerned about, trying to move onto the site safely before the op's able to take one of them out. Chihuahua's going to activate the Empress, but Cider with the Vandal is still faster, able to take out the Reyna, able to take out the Omen. More stuns up on site, is going to fall to the Fade as well. Alive in a lurk is taken out by Desmo. And Alliance, once again, able to use the fact that they've got the breach, that XL are missing that key corner part of a jigsaw to be able to push onto these sites in time and buy themselves a delay, keep Alliance at arm's length long enough for them to be able to pull into post-plant positions so that one Alliance come for the retake, XL aren't just caught out in the open.
Zooey Mama. That was amazing from Alliance. There was just nothing whatsoever XL could do. I mean, yeah, you have 2 initiators, they have none. Just walk in at that point. Look, all of the utility they're using, and Cider just spray transfers between Patatech and Mo like it's absolutely nothing whatsoever. And this is really that individual kind of confidence that I was talking about from Alliance. These guys are incredibly good players, and they just haven't had any luck so far this season. Chihuahua, how are you still alive, buddy?
Oh my goodness, the Tava to try and make sure that the paint shells get the pick, but it's done enough chip damage. Cider can now peek out. And once again, XL just not having that CC, not having the stuns or the flashes. It's costing them so much space, so many players dead at the starts of these rounds, because Alliance have started to realize they don't have the flashes, they don't have the stuns. If we challenge them early on, we can just chip the damage in and there's nothing they can do if they're stunned up and we're not.
Nilla playing with fire here. Doesn't really want to go around the corner straight away dry with an operator, but knows he has to hold down this heaven position to make sure they don't just steamroll into B. But here comes Desmo from behind. They played for time enough, and it's just Foxy left. But Desmo's given it up. He's just thrown down a paranoia and waited. And he will find the kill, and no, he won't. Nilla will find the kill. Foxy did find the head of Desmo there, but it all happened in such a split second. It's 5-5, though. And Alliance look confident.
Yeah, and I'm worried now for Excel when you look at this composition when they go into side swap. You don't have an initiator. How are you gonna stop rush pushes? If Alliance want to flank or just take space as soon as these rounds start, the way that we're seeing them now get really aggressive on their defense and then pull back so that XL just cannot punish, cannot find these trades and lose the rounds at the start rather than winning them at the end like we saw in the opening of these series. How is XL going to be able to hold on? It is crucial that they're able to take these last 2 rounds in the half. And you can see, we know it, they know it. A timeout is going to be coming through from XL. As this is the first time today we've really seen them pushed out of their comfort zone.
Yeah. They didn't seem like they've had any answers for the last few rounds, and it really turned on a dime. There was absolutely no warning from Alliance before they just went all out. Just complete, I wouldn't say dominance in the way that, you know, XL brought out so many of those rounds on Ascent, but they look like the better team at the moment. And that's saying something, you know, giving 5 rounds to XL and then just not even a timeout. They just turn it around. I guess that's the coach diff, having him always in that voice chat. Desmo right there. And Desmo has done a lot of work. He's really... I mean, this is really... Why doesn't everybody just get 5 coaches on their team, honestly, and just play it like that? Because you see Desmo here. Why not? Try it out. Somebody needs to try it. It's science.
Why doesn't everyone buy 2 operators every round? That's what Alliance have opted into. No chamber, no tour de force. They have to buy into it themselves. Idol once again going to be charging up that C's. There's the lid. There's the tether.
Nice.
And Fatty Tech can't satchel pack out. It's just stuck in position as Cider picks out both the Raze and the Reyna. Mo stuck in ramps. Not able to even make it into Mail. And it's all onto Foxy to try and get information and a little bit of space. Has been able to TP into that big site. Tries to hide between those dark covers, but Alliance just pulling immediately away, making sure that they're not in sight until Soren. A little bit of the baseball cap pops out from the Razor's head.
It's alive to try and clean up the mess that his team have made here. Foxy already taking control of the site, but the spike is not with him. And now it's this question, do we bring Alive over here? Do we send him to another site? He is going to teleport into sewers and then head back to mid. Interestingly, nobody could hear you do that, so you're not going to fake anybody out whatsoever, but he is going to head towards B, which is right where the XL players, the Alliance players are all congregating. Foxy finding another kill to make sure that there's some space to work with for the team. 9 bullets left in the chamber. He's not going to keep pushing forward, not going to push his luck. He's going to let his teammate get in, get that spike down. He's made more space. He'll find another kill before the op comes through from Cider. Out come the Prowlers as well, following the trail to try and find more players alive. Again, using a questionable teleport to get away from that one. It is Cider to find the 3rd kill. Foxy waiting, biding his time, looking around the corner for this one. He'll find the 1st kill, but Cider is there with a 4K. Cider, very skilled player, but that is not normally this very, very insane. They need to check him PC and the game. Maybe he's not cheating, but maybe he's using the game deficit.
Oh man, I love that Cider is just playing Hansel and Gretel, right following the breadcrumb trail of that terror trail. So that even when the smoke comes through and XL are relying on the fact that Foxy's dark cover is going to be enough to keep him safe, just immediately the terror trail attaches and Foxy is just gone.
Oh. I mean, it's... Alliance are a different beast right now. This is just nothing we've seen from them over any of the weeks whatsoever. I mean, we've obviously seen glimpses of great plays from them. They are a great team, but we haven't really seen them come alive like this so far. Cider isn't going to be caught off guard by that once again. Taking no damage whatsoever from the slow paint grenade. Oh, Soren holding down this one by himself, and he does a lot of damage and gets 1 kill, but no more than that. Malfoy trying to come through. Again, he can hold this one down, and with the Initiator aggressively taking space is just that much more simple for Alliance, and you can see XL have to react by just heading back. Bye. Can't get through.
I mean, they could maybe send a Paranoia through, but not really knowing where Desmo is holding because they don't have the Cypher, they don't have the camera to pin down. The Omen means
man.
it's not safe to stand there, Foxy. The Op claims the head of another Chihuahua, able to sidestep the paranoia, does show Desmo's position. And you can see that Chihuahua does think about trying to track the Omen and take the head, but is not going to try and contest this. Instead, going to head into Malfoy, who's just waiting. And XL, once again, just lacking that initiator, lacking that piece to be able to move this composition forward. Gonna be finding themselves grind to a halt.
No. Can't get anything more done. Alliance take the half, 7-5, and wow. I mean, if they can keep up that momentum, that is going to be absolutely massive for them. XL call a timeout mid-half there, but nothing slows down from Alliance whatsoever. Their decision-making has been on point since that 7th round.
Well, the big difference as well that we see the turnarounds is when Alliance's economy recovers enough that they can buy the operator. And there you see the problem that XL have been facing. There's a reason why they've continuously tried to just push that economy downhill for Alliance. They know without an initiator, without something like a breach or a Sky coming through with those flashes, you don't have the fault line, you don't have the guiding lights to try and push the operator player away so that you can cross into the angles that they were previously holding safely. And it has meant that XL find themselves 7-5, missing 2 rounds behind their opponents. It's still reachable, as long as they're able to take these 2 pistols, and they are defending on split. But now, here is the same problem. You don't have a breach, you don't have a Sky. Alliance can apply a whole lot of pressure, make it seem like they're setting up for a rush push, and XL have to just respond by cycling their utility.
Yep.
The utility that's going to very slowly run out.
Look, XL are very comfortable playing this anchor gameplay, but Alliance are reading it quite well. They're sitting back and they're saving their utility for this late kind of push in the round. You can see 1 minute left on the timer. XL starting to get a little impatient. They're going to push through, and that's not a great idea with the comp they have. Chihuahua is going to find the first kill, and Patatech is there to get the trade as well before Desmo can even do enough damage to get forward. Now Alliance have to make a quick decision, and here is where XL's pure skill is going to really come into play, because with the comp that doesn't allow them to get pushing power inherently, they can just hit shots and they can get it done all day. Nilla, last player alive, 10 HP, not going to get them through on this one. It's a team ace from XL. Maybe they're back in that game.
You know, everyone always talks about the stats of teams winning pistols and the percentage they have of taking the round. The stat I'm really interested in, Twiggy, is how many times has pistols been won by a frenzy?
Yeah, that's frenzy difference. It's still underrated.
I mean, players are definitely picking up on how important it can be, especially if you want that spray, if you feel like it is going to be a rush push to punish the fact that you don't have the flashes to stop those massive balls of players just moving in on the death ball strategy. Which is why the frenzy opening off is able to just instantly nip from one player to the other. As XL sitting on that defense, knowing that Alive is going to be a lot easier to be unpunished with the rendezvous, can afford to opt in for the Marshall, as hello, that's not a teleport safe space.
Oh.
And Desmo might be regretting that one.
I mean, they got the trade on a round that they need the kills, so I feel like they're probably relatively happy with that. Desmo definitely probably unhappy with the way it turned out for him, though. Nilla beaming.
The greater good, Twiggy.
Yeah, exactly.
Greater good.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is, you know. Sometimes you really just got to think about the team. Now comes the fault line, not going to catch anybody whatsoever, as Mo is just backed into a corner. Chihuahua is getting all the kills, so Nilla trying to turn around the corner, but that is not going to be a fruitful endeavor. And in comes Patatech to finish things out with a double satchel blast. XL come away with their buy-up round quite nicely. They make it 7-7. Now is where Alliance are going to try and strike back.
Yeah, Alliance, this is the round that they've been dipping into. They know how important it is. This is going to decide, honestly, a lot of this half, right? For Alliance, this is the make or break round. If they're able to win the rifles, they can continue to buy up into this. They can continue to pressure XL and play very slow, try and bait out that utility. If not, they're always going to be on the back foot, having to worry about XL getting aggressive. Because remember, this is a composition that is built for aggression. You try and challenge Mo on ramps, you're going to get slow-orbed and walled and paint shelled. You try and move into garage, and you're going to run into the making sure that Chihuahua is always going to have an upper hand in those duels. Alive can just hold super far forward at the very beginning, get a lot of information on where Alliance are likely to push into, and then relay that to the rest of the team with very little chance of being downed himself.
Alliance calling a timeout. Really just want to think about this one. It's a very early timeout in this half. Obviously, you get one timeout per half. They can't use another one later on, so 2 rounds in. Really just trying to, I think, stop XL from getting ahead in terms of momentum. Just stop them from being able to really think about this. But I feel like it probably would have come into play better the round after this, when they can buy up. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe, you know, you know what? I've doubted Alliance too many times already. Soren is dead. Alive is not going to allow him to get all the way through there. So, coming into this round now, a player down, and XL's bonus is going to be looking quite nice, quite tasty on this one. Pathetek doing a little bit of sound cue faking. Make Alliance unsure of their push hit. They do come away with the first kill. Cider finds that. They don't have any healers on their team, so being on low HP, unfortunate for them. They're just going to have to deal with it. The rifle is now available for Alive to walk away with, although the Marshal has been so effective for him, I'm not sure why he'd want it.
Precision kill.
Well, Pathetek isn't going to want anything other than a Spectre for that one. Picks out Cider, is not able to get close enough. Desmo's position means that you can't upgrade into the rifle left behind by the Fade, but XL still 1 man ahead in terms of the number advantage. Alliance have been able to procure a little bit of pressure towards that A site, but not enough to push Alive out of position. Remember, if the chamber gets pushed, you have the rendezvous, you can get out, and until then, you can just hold side anchor, buy enough time for Pathetek to be able to cross into tower, wait for the sound of that spike to come on through, then drop the paint shell to try and force out the player who planted it into the open. The paint shells do a little bit of damage. The Stinger, the Spectre rather, finishes off the pick, and Nihile is just all alone in screens. 1 against 3, but at least all of XL are stuck up on that high ground. They have to fall out of window or take the time to rotate into ramp.
That was unfortunate. Nilla, I mean, if Mo had not jumped down at that point in time, he would have been distracted, and he probably would have been able to get the jump on Pathetek. We'll never know for sure, but XL do take away that bonus quite convincingly as well, and that timeout seems to have worked for them, or at least the break in the half has worked out for them very well, because that was just well calculated. Nothing too exciting went on from them. Just hit their shot, made sure they played it calmly. It worked out.
Pathetek's raise is just so dangerous, so deadly. And what's even more dangerous is a chamber with an operator. As Alliance not coming in on a clean buy, they have to go for the eco. A Bulldog is going to be coming out from Malfoy, so they can at least try and have a little bit of an impact on the distance, but it's going to be nowhere near as effective as the op shot. Alive, even though sees the beginning of the fault line, can still stay in and knows even if you get stunned, the rendezvous is there. And now Pathetek has been able to take the chamber's place. It's Chihuahua's time to chime on in. All of this is going down in mid, and Alliance have no say in the matter. Wow. And the round is done.
XL looking to just get over towards that double digits before Alliance can even get a say in on this one. And yeah, I mean, having 2 initiators is not going to help you when you don't even have time to use any utility. XL just getting the round done within the first 30 seconds makes it impossible to get anywhere. I think that's just Alive anchoring with that operator. And as I said earlier, they are very comfortable to anchor. They've got a comp that allows them to just sit back and soak up pressure for a long time. And because of that, especially when you do have those self-sufficient duelists like Pathetek and Chihuahua on the Reyna and the Raze, you're just able to deal with whatever Alliance come up with. Alliance are going to have to think of something completely different if they want to get this done.
No, this time it's not going to be an opening with a fault line, which is something that Live has been doing a very good job of beating out. Instead, it is going to be the Prowler invested from Cider to try and check whether or not there is a player waiting to punish as they move up into male. And Pathetek is there, just putting in a little bit of a commotion, trying to force them over towards vents and then ropes. And Chihuahua, holding on ramps, has not yet been pressed. There's a pincer about to come on through. for the Reyna, but you're able to hit one shot successfully. You can use the dismiss to keep yourself alive. Aztec peaks, but it's not at the same time. Chihuahua's still there, rolling button against the no one checks ramps! And Chihuahua picks up 3! And there's no punishment to come! Nearly unable to land the pick because the overheal is there!
Ouch, 2v2 now. And XL have the spike in hand. Ooh, paranoia is good from Desmo, but he needs to do a lot more than just keep them back at this point. You can see the crossfire is there. Nila gets around the corner at just the right time to take off some pressure, but Chihuahua takes down Desmo before he can even get his gun out. It's Nila left in a 1v1, but the ace is now available for Chihuahua. He can just hold down this corner. 15 seconds left in the round, and Nila can't plant the spike no matter what, unless he grabs this and sprints towards site. It doesn't matter. Chihuahua there with the ace, and it's 10 rounds now for XL. They're running away with it in the second half.
Oh, an Alliance, they tried so hard. They didn't get very far. Chihuahua was there to shut them down the second they tried to take a step forward. Look at that. The Rolling Thunder gives away the team's position. They think it's their time. No one checks ramps, and Chihuahua was able to find an ace in the round that Alliance desperately needed to be able to reset their economy, to try and make this comeback, to let them hit double digits. It was not to fall into a full buy and then a force, a full buy and then a force, which is the position they find themselves in now.
They're really going to be giving away this next round to XL. You can see they didn't full buy into this one, but there we go. Malfoy and Nila managed to get kills on the board. Chihuahua is, as always, just absolutely ruthless, though. Not giving them any time to react, and he'll take down another one through mid. Cider able to get the trade, but now it's a 1v2, and he only has a Sheriff in his hands. No armor to work with whatsoever either. 75 HP. Mo has the better gun for shooting through the edge of the wall there, and does make it 11 now for XL. 2 rounds to the finish line, and Alliance are running out of options to deal with it.
They have 4 rounds that they have to get together in a row if they want to close up this gap. We saw it. It's possible. Cova were able to pull it off on this very map yesterday, Twiggy. For Alliance, this is the round to do it with. They've got the Nightfall available to them. They can try and create a commotion on one of these sites. Desmo can use from the shadows to use that spike. Grab it. Funnel it over to the other side of the map where XL won't be ready and waiting, but this is an anchor composition, and Patatek is going forward aggressively. XL know if they get these picks early on, Alliance don't get any moment to build up momentum to be able to use that Nightfall. Desmo is down, no from the shadows available. When the spike gets committed to a side, it's got to stick.
Chihuahua is always there to back up his duelist friend as well. Nila able to find a kill, but that's really not going to be enough in this round. Alliance do not manage to find a single round. Once again, they are now on death's door. 1 round left for XL to finish this one out, and they don't look like they're breaking a sweat whatsoever in the second half. They've had enough of Alliance's nonsense. Alive drops the operator. He brings out his tour de force, as well as a Vandal. He's not having any of it. Look at the amount of rounds XL have posted up in one fell swoop. 7 in a row this time, and they're looking to make it 8, and it looks like they're in a fine position to do it.
Yeah, and Alliance's economy is anything but fine right now. It's a full-on force. They have to win this round. If they don't, the series is done. Prowler will at least bait out Tour de Force's position. They know where the chamber is. Nightfall is going to come across to make sure that Heaven is clear and allow Alliance to move on forward, but you still haven't pushed onto this chamber. Desmo is down, no paranoia, no smoke. And Foxy just pops up rope. Oh, Alliance, they've reduced to 2 players. The Tour de Force still sitting on B side, and it is done. Alliance, they may have come in with the initiator, but XL downloaded the strategy. All they had to do was bait out that utility before they were ready to be pushed on. And that's exactly what happens. Alive on that chamber, just able to move forward, take so much aggression, burn so much utility out from their opponents, then you rendezvous out, and the rest of the team take your place. You cycle through space control, and there's nothing Alliance can do.
XL absolutely knew what they were doing there on that defense. Alliance really looked like they had a plan, especially in that first half, but I really had this inkling feeling, right, that half break, obviously, you know, you never know what's going to happen when you break up that momentum just a little bit, and that half break gave XL a little bit of time to think. They came back full force. They didn't give up a single round on their defense. They knew what they're doing, where everyone was supposed to be, and exactly how to get those rounds every single time. Didn't look like they even regarded Alliance coming into the end of that game. Great fight from Alliance, but they do not manage to pick up their first game of the Polaris group stage.
Yeah, XL able to pick up another win, and the rivalry will continue between these two teams. It was lovely to get to see Cider on this fade, though. There's definitely a lot of promise for the team to be able to really dive into what is going to become a very new meta. But we did see that XL just being able to play off of these teams, knowing that with this triple duelist, almost the fact that the Reina can be very self-sufficient, but then pairing it up with Patty Tech as well, setting up these crossfires, especially in this one round. This was the round that Alliance needed to be able to take away, to stop XL's momentum, to stop them from being able to just, even when they lose a round, full buy into the next. Whereas Alliance, if they lose a round, they're on a force, and then they lose the force and they're on a full eco. It's not a comfortable position for them to be in. And ever since we see that round, it really does feel like that momentum, that sort of aggression onto those sites is just entirely broken up.
Yeah, you can see the just amazing performance that was pulled up from XL there, but you can see again, you know, I mentioned this yesterday, the way these teams, sometimes there are some teams that really just stand out to you as ones that can just everybody get involved and everybody put up an amazing performance. You can see everybody over 150 on both teams, so everybody doing incredibly well, but I mean, XL just had that slightly better coherence as a team. They just put together some more counter plays. They were able to think about what Alliance were doing at every stage of the game, and although Alliance put up some incredible stats of their own, it was just XL's game from the moment they stepped foot in that second half.
Yeah, and I mean, it really is XL showing that they're a force to be reckoned with. We knew coming into the second split that they were one of the strong contenders, that we were very likely going to be seeing them move once again back up into that top 4. They came so close in the last split, able to win it all out, and then not quite able to make it into that VCT promotion spot. This time, they're back for more, and they mean business.
Yeah, I will be able to see, hopefully, well, when we move into the playoffs, we're a few weeks away, we're several weeks away, but XL are really looking like one of those teams we're expecting to see in there once again. We'll be able to see if they want to be able to make that run forward once again into the promotional playoffs, and then see if they can really come back at the teams. They've made some changes since then. We'll have to see if that works out for them in the long run, but we've got a long way to go until that. Still a month of group stage to go until we even get to these last playoffs games, and then we'll be able to see who is going to get through on that, but we don't know whatsoever. We've seen some amazing teams come through already. We saw yesterday Finest were looking good, but Kova managed to beat them on that one, so they're looking at being able to get in through in there. XL, obviously, one of the big names that we're expecting to get through, but really, this is such a closely matched group stage so far that I could really see anybody taking it away, and any 4 teams getting into the playoffs right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it is going to come down to a lot of these teams, whether they want to stick with what was old meta, like having the Sova still in those compositions, or whether or not they are going to be adapting into the Fade. And we are starting to see, as these weeks progress, that more and more teams are starting to lean into that newer Asian. Alliance did try to run her on split, not quite as successfully as we got to see XL pull it off on Ascent, but still the building blocks, the foundation for some really strong team synergies are really starting to creep in. And I think as the weeks progress more and more, being able to pull into that Fade gameplay and chemistry with these other agent pools is really going to set apart this top 4.
Yeah, well, we'll be able to very shortly talk to one of our players there from that team. The winning team, obviously, Alexel? That's the when you ship the 2 teams, it's Alexel. So, you know, when you're thinking about, you know, you're shipping between your Alliance and XL, obviously writing your fan fiction, you can come up with that name. You know what, I'm giving it away for free. Anybody can use it. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see a bit of Alliance XL fan fiction. I'm expecting to see it now. You know what? I've made my bed. I'm going to lie in it, and I want to send it to my DMs on Twitter. Obviously, or you could send it to Moxie. I'm sure Moxie would love to read some Valorant team. I don't know where I'm going with that. I really don't. We are
I'm
about
washing
to...
my hands of this.
Yeah, no, she doesn't want to get involved with that whatsoever. We are ready to head into an interview. I think well, I just can't wait to talk to them about this one because how you doing, buddy? That was a great game, absolutely amazing.
We are doing good. This was like really easy game for us because probably Alliance team is just new right now and they don't have that experience that we have now. That's why you saw the score. Like it was really easy.
Well, actually, you know what then? If we're going to talk about the score, if we're going to nitpick at things, CHIWAWA, what happened in the first half of Split? You gave them so many rounds in a row. What was going on there? Obviously, it was not a close game whatsoever. But yeah, do you have any ideas what was going on with Alliance there? They looked so confident
to be honest,
for a little bit.
we have like good defaults on Split, and we were like leading at the first half of first half. But after we started a bit like hurry, in some situations, like overplay the situations. For example, I did some mistakes, was forcing some plays, and it's just unlucky. I don't know. Like we just overplayed. We felt,
Fair enough.
that we are like dominating, kinda.
Right.
So you mentioned that it was easier because Alliance's team is still relatively new. Obviously, we've seen 3 of your core roster in the previous split, but you have had to adapt new players into the roster as well. How have you been able to build the synergy faster than these other teams that it feels just very seamless to see you 5 play together already?
Like to be honest, for Alliance, they just their roster like started, like exist right before the Polaris. We had the time. We had 1 month to practice, and like we have a core, still of the last team, and we have coach. We have kind of same game plans, same strats. It was not that hard to find out, our game, and we are feeling like with every official better and better with every practice.
Brilliant. Well, let's talk about Fade for a second here, because we really haven't seen her much of Fade on Polaris so far. She's been available for a while, but we've seen a lot more in different Valorant regional leagues than here in Polaris. It was very effective for you there on Ascent. We haven't really seen much of her, so is this something you're planning to bring back more often? Or are you more comfortable on that Sova on a lot of maps?
To be honest about Fate, like just Mo wanted to play this Fate so much, and we just gave him chance to practice it, and he is doing good, like as you can see, and why not, it's kind of the same role like Sova in my opinion, but Sova now is worse for sure after the last patch note, just its drone is shorter. Fate is something new, like fresh, and I feel people also didn't adapt that good against Fate, like destroy reveals, all these things, and I feel like it's no problem. Fate can be new meta for sure. Like I like how Mo playing on this agent for sure. Like.
Yeah, and for going back to the map picks and bans, we saw a very dominant performance of your team up against Human Tripwires on Breeze. It was very interesting to see actually that you took that map out of the equation. Was there a specific reason that you did not want to fight Alliance on it?
To be honest, just like we have split like more prioritize, than Breeze. That's why we picked it. Like Breeze is our like comfortable pick, and last time when we played against Human Tripwires, it was their map pick, like Breeze. We're just ready to play this map always.
Well, you've looked incredibly confident so far. Obviously, we have to bring up the elephant in the room. You guys didn't quite make it through the promotional tournament last time. What are you looking forward to in that? Do you think you're going to get through that playoffs? Do you think you'll have a second bite at that cherry?
Like me personally, I'm really like chill right now. Like I'm just waiting for playoffs. For me, like big goal, it's show good performance on playoffs, cause I really already like expect from my team that we will qualify for playoffs, and now we just like I think trying strat things, like, and we will see. We're just preparing for playoffs, to be honest.
All right then.
We're so confident.
And in Split 1, it seemed like you had this constant rivalry between Alliance and yourselves. Out of all of the teams that you faced so far, who do you consider your closest rivals this time around?
I think it's I forgot the name. Tundra team. Finest team. It's the closest one. I think they are playing well, to be honest.
Definitely. Okay then. Well, congratulations once again on that game. Obviously, CHIWAWA, you took it away massively. Is there anything else you want to say to the other teams, to anybody, either fans, before we say goodbye to you?
Of course, like support us, keep watching us. Like we are really trying our best all the time, and just you know, like I want support of our fan. That's all. Like we will do well.
Brilliant, lovely, wholesome. Thank you for talking to us, CHIWAWA. Good luck in your following games.
Thank you.
We'll see you around.
Thank you
buddy.
too. Yeah, bye bye.
Okay, so that's going to be it for our first match. XL taking away the map from Alliance completely brilliantly there. I think every time they seemed in control, there was just one moment where they weren't quite all the way there, but they brought it back with absolute confidence. But we're going to head into a quick break before we head into our second matchup of the day, so don't go anywhere. It's going to be just as exciting as this one, I'm sure.
Wally.
Yeah, Wally. Wally. Wally.
No, 100% Wally. I love him to death. He's not toxic with the he's not toxic with us. He's toxic in rank, but he's 100% most toxic.
Yeah.
It's probably beating G2 on Ascent, 13-5. It was one of my first big officials. I remember feeling it feeling really good, so it has to be that.
I didn't plant the bomb on Split.
That's a good one.
We were playing Split overtime. It was a brawl, and yeah, we did some last second go plant the bomb calls, and time ran out, and I just jumped in bed crying, man. I think that would have changed a lot if we won that game, actually. So
Yeah.
instead, they got the free ride, so you know, it is what it is. That's why we're still trying to get that championship title so we can erase that one, you know.
I think being open-minded is a key part of improving as a player, because this game is ever-changing, right? If you're locked in one way of playing, one way of thinking about the game, then I think you will not come far.
Something very important to going pro is learning to improve, because it's not as simple as just playing ranked and grinding the game. That's like you will get far, but you won't get to the top. Like Cider said, it's very important that you learn to talk as a team.
Me, 100%. Back when I used IGL, I forgot it every round. I would always forget either armor, my shotgun, everything, every round.
Intentional throwing. Nah, I mean, it's not intentional throwing, it's more of a check out and doesn't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
We had our old teammate John, he used to have all sorts of issues with his PC, but other than that, we're usually fine.